It's so bad. In another one, one of my friends says, "Who's gonna sell me a platypus?" So of course I have to go. A platypus.
We're live. We're live. That's what I need. I need one of those not cue cards, but marker. But whatever those things are called.
The thing you snap.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It has the scene written on it. I'm like.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. That they snap together.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think it's called a clapper.
No, that's clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. The clapper. Anyway.
Oh God, my great grandmother had one of them things. No, she had the touch one. Never mind. She had the one that you touched it in it.
We have a touch lamp upstairs that if it's plugged in, it goes a little haywire. We think somebody,
one
of the ghosts keep touching it. Just it'll randomly come on in the middle of the night. Just boop on. Anyway.
The ghost wants to make sure you have a left light. I have a touch lamp on my desk. I love this thing. Got it from work.
Refresh that. Refresh this. Okie doke. Who wants to
Right.
Who wants to refresh our memories from last time?
I fell into a hole. Well.
Uh-huh. And?
We fought giant bugs.
And
Soul got a unicorn. And I tried to talk to the floating island behind us.
Capri's not playing. She's just the invisible ghost here. Woo!
Ooh.
Anyway.
Yeah, Soul's got a freaking unicorn now.
Which in all reality is probably going to be more problems than you want to think about. But I've already been thinking about it.
Friend.
Okie dokie. Well.
And we were outside the town. That's where we left off. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, just as the sun was setting to your east. Wait. I have to think about it. Rise to the east. Says oh, whoops. Okay. West. I had to think about it.
Hey, it could be the opposite in this world. We don't know.
No, it's definitely the same.
I mean, for all we know, north, south, east, and west have different names in this existence.
True.
That too.
That is true. Well. Anyways. As the sun is setting, you come across these large wooden gates that are still propped open. There's a guard checking IDs and, other things. Really just making sure the ruffians stay out.
Oh, sorry, I said you won't be allowed in.
Well, it's not like any of us
I'm joking.
have IDs either.
No, we don't. That might be an issue.
Fox is our ID.
No, he just look at us like, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would. That was stupid.
Yeah, he would be like, you stupid has ID.
Well. Because it's that time of day where there's not a whole lot of traffic going into the town or out of the town, really. Yeah, it's about that twilight. As the guard looks at you and just goes, ID?
Got nothing, boss.
We're not from around here. How would we go about getting an ID?
Of course, Fox just shakes his head. Reaching amongst his many pockets before pulling out a stone. He places the said stone right in the okie dokie plant. Places the stone right into the guard's hand. The guard looks at the stone and says, "Don't cause any trouble, right?"
Wait, what?
I'm assuming it wasn't a normal stone.
No.
He bribed the guard.
Shh. We're not gonna question it.
It's already been questioned. Can't take back a question when it's already been questioned.
Well, Fox just kind of goes, "Shush it. Don't be big mouth. Stupid."
Well, I would have tried not to say it too loud and only to Solify.
I'm still kind of curious. Is there a way for us to get something official?
Well, the guard, as you're all filtering in, he just says, "If you really want an ID, you'll have to go to the city hall. But they're closed now, unless you want to interrupt the magistrate in the middle of his dinner."
That's
Sounds like a plan
generally not a
always.
good idea.
No, it's not.
Of course, when Acid said a plan, Fox just says, "So stupid."
Yes, you should have realized this by now. Come on.
Oh, he just shakes his head, his ears going flop, 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 before he walks in. Of course, only Solify would understand him speaking up. "Stupid idiots. Gonna be the death of me."
Squeeze me! Whips around.
Of course, Fox looks at you with innocence. Just the,
What do we do with the unicorn exactly?
"It's with you."
Because we haven't said anything. Okay, this is coming in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because we haven't said anything. We just kind of just walked into this. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
Kinda
as
nasty.
the horse,
Up.
the unicorn walks into the town, it was almost like everybody's eyes were on you. As the guard goes, "And I'd get a bridle on that, if you want to keep it."
Where do I get a bridle?
Of course, he looks at you like you're...
Is it at City Hall, which is closed?
No, you get it at the farrier, which is closed.
Oh my god.
Here's a question: what's not closed?
The bar, the tavern.
There's a difference
inn.
between the tavern and the bar?
Yes. The tavern has an inn, or has rooms above it. It's kind of sketchy. The bar, not so much.
Mm.
Fair enough.
We're gonna need rooms.
Of course, Fox was just walking.
Do we really need rooms? We're just kind of sleeping outside. Kind of fine the last couple of times. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Fox seems to know where he is going.
Follows Fox.
Yeah, following Fox.
Well, a fox walks up to this it's not like grand or like a mansion, but it was like, it's well off. Of course, he pauses, kind of lifting his nose, sniffing. And just as he opens his mouth, you hear boom! As smoke billows out. Well, first, the door slams open. Smoke billows out as you hear. Fuck.
Sounds like somebody mixed something wrong.
Probably.
Or too much of one thing. Something along those lines.
Oh my back. Oh god. Should not have put the lungwort in there first. Ouch. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? I have a tail. I have a tail. As you see this tall rat person running around, like chasing his own tail, going, it's attached. Ow! It's fuck. What?
I'm gonna look at Fox and go, one of your friends?
Cheese man.
Yes. 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 Yes.
You mean a map? Rat?
Of course, the rat is very tall. You know, the height you would associate more with an elf than a animalkin. He's tall, he's lean, he's very good looking, except for his rat features. And the soot.
And then I'm gonna mumble, yep, definitely one of Fox's friends.
Yep.
Loud enough that I hope Fox heard it.
He just laughs and says, the cheese man. You know, really just finding enjoyment that his friend is now a rat. As he then just goes, oh, fuck, you saw that. As the...
Hard to not see it, actually. Thankfully, we're the only ones here. All four of us. And the whole... Oh, yeah, the unicorn. What's the
And the unicorn.
As he kind of points and says, is that real?
No.
Don't touch
Figment
it.
of your imagination. It's all induced by the smokes you just inhaled.
Yeah, I think it's real.
Well, yeah. Fuck, whatever.
I mean, we haven't tested to see if the horn was just glued on or not, but you know, we've seen weird things since we've been here.
Yeah, we kind of just accepted the fact that it's a unicorn, and it exists.
Yeah, we stopped the one person from touching it because just make sure she didn't, get her eye poked out. But
Well, the horse just kind of looks at you and snorts. Clearly
I
understanding
look at it
you.
and just shrug. I just look at it and shrug. It's like, hey, it's not our fault that they have bad moments with animal horses already. All right, we're just trying to make sure that they don't get hurt by you.
You don't need to bring that up.
We were trying to help it.
We need to bring it up. You put a bladed weapon next to a horse that was already panicked.
I'll turn to the unicorn, realizing it's trying to realize that it's understanding, and went, yeah, they didn't hurt it.
Just stress it out 10 times more.
They just stressed it out.
What'd I say about bringing it up?
I'm going to bring it up because it's necessary for its safety.
It's not.
It is for its safety.
We're not going to do the same thing to the unicorn.
I don't believe you.
No, we're going to be nice to the unicorn.
Zahina, you're staying away from it.
What?
I will drag you away from it every time you try to walk closer to it. I don't give a fuck. I don't trust you.
But I just want to
Fox?
pet it.
No.
I
Fox
will be
ignored.
gentle.
No.
I mean, honestly, at this point, we should ask it if it wanted pats before we petted it anyway.
Really, truthfully, yes. But in the first place, we let somebody touch it before, really anything else.
I say,
Thankfully, it worked
standing
out
there.
for now.
I like animals.
Stop touching things.
Fox just wandered him deeper into the home as if he owned the place. As he goes, nice redeck. Shut up.
Yeah, is the scorched look popular in town, I'm guessing?
No, he was really just poking fun at the wizard.
The cheese boy.
The cheese man.
Jeez. Jesus.
Cheese man.
Jeez.
Well, oops. Well, the rat just kind of looks up, kind of his nose moving as he goes, ooh, I smell. No! I'm not going to fall for
Did you
it.
smell cheese? Did you smell cheese?
No, he says, I'm not going to fall for it, pointing right at Fox. This Fox just looks all innocent. You know, that innocent puppy look that's like, I didn't do anything. Of course, you totally know
cheese.
he did it.
It's gotta be cheese.
Gotta.
What kind of cheese? Imported Swiss?
They wouldn't know what Swiss is. Shush.
Right,
The
right,
magic
right.
Probably got a different name because, Swiss may not exist there.
It's
It may
Seuss.
not be Swiss at all.
Oh. The rat just kind of looks, kind of shaking his head, going, oh, this is giving me a headache already. Rule
No, you
one.
didn't have one already from your favorite lawyer of mixtures.
Rule one in my house, shut up.
No.
Of course, all he does is just kind of wave his hand as a mage hand just clamps your lips shut. As he goes, rule two. No touching, that means you. Pointing right at Sahina.
Yes.
I am
Victory.
I
not
say,
gonna touch
looking-
anything.
Looking
Jesus.
over and touching a pot.
What did I say?
It might have rupees in it.
I am not going
The
to touch
fuck
anything.
are
I know better than
rupees?
to go touching stuff in somebody's house. Jeez.
I'm
I'm
going
not
to reach back to my hood and make sure everything is okay back there with all of the commotion.
Well,
I'm gonna walk over and flick both of them on the forehead real quick. Just
No.
Well, he can't say anything because his lips are sealed.
exactly. So I'm just gonna flick you.
Bunk right on the forehead. Or gib slap. Anyway,
One to each cheek.
as Cinderly touches Spooter Cat, in her mind she hears whisper, name him. Or not.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
You hear a voice saying, name them.
Another one.
Huh. Okay. So I'm
When
going to
they-
wait until that night and have a conversation with it before I go to bed
Okay.
so that I can ask it if it has a name. And if it doesn't, I'm going to suggest a couple of names and see which one it prefers.
All right. Well, the wizard is still kind of dusting himself off. Every time he touches himself, like another poof of soot comes off of him. It's like a never-ending cloud of soot coming off of him. As he goes, ugh. It's almost like I can taste it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have mixed the things together.
How else am I supposed to
I'm
grow?
just gonna flick him
Learn.
on the forehead again.
Maybe listen to your gut sense and don't do the thing.
Well, the wizard just kind of rolls his eyes before going, you're lucky you're his friends or entourage. I don't know.
I would agree with that in any respects, but you know.
Well, he then just kind of looks straight at Solify with kind of a really dark look and says, you know, your skeleton would look really good on the outside.
I know, right? In fact, I've thought about that same thing.
What I missed.
Nothing. It's not
Our thoughts
important.
come with depression. You know that, right?
Fair so.
Anyway,
There it is.
well, a fox just kind of goes, are you coming? Or are you going to stand outside? Stupids.
Yeah, we're coming.
Okay, sure.
More,
And I'll step into the house. Or
more.
wherever.
It's a house.
Yeah.
Of course, only Solify understands. Might be more trouble than it's worth. As he mumbles to himself.
Can you stop mumbling to yourself? We can all hear you.
Of course,
You
everyone
hear
else.
something.
Everyone
we don't
else
understand.
hears.
The full list of this, and I just can't seem to find it anywhere.
As the fox just kind of snorts. Of course, the wizard goes, no. No hooves inside. You stay outside. I don't care.
But wait a minute. Hold on. They are part of the, what are we? Are we a party, a group? Like,
Oh.
It doesn't matter. Rules are rules. He's not going in. I'll stay out with him if you guys don't want to go stay out with him. Yeah.
And
I
who
mean, we
says
should
he
at
does?
least tether him. So
Tether him with what?
I don't know. Ask if there's a rope.
Exactly. Shut.
I don't know. Well, if you
Finley,
runs
make
away.
something.
And who says that
Good.
he doesn't have
Uh,
a stable out back? I mean, you guys haven't asked him. As he goes, no. No. Go round back. I'm sure you're smart enough to figure out the rest. Maybe.
hanging out with us doesn't seem very likely.
If I only had a brain.
Exactly.
Yep. Anyway.
Where the fuck can I get all this meat?
I just heard a dice flop and then Sweet going, yup.
No, I said yep because he was focused on the horse, his concentration waned, so the mage hand went away.
Oh, okay.
Look, I didn't think Mage Hand needed concentration. Does it?
I thought it needed.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it needs
I
concentration.
thought it did. Hold on.
I think it counts on the Mage Hand. If it's low tier, I think it needs, but I don't think it's needed at all the time.
Well, as far as you know, his concentration waned. Because you're all new to magic, you don't know if it's concentration or if it's, what. So you assume it's concentration, and everything is con-bound.
Mhm.
Well, you hear from the kitchen. And she goes, dang it. Stupid explosion. Caused me to fucking mess up my goddamn. And you hear this, like, wet splat.
Huh?
As she goes, ruin the noodles. God damn it. Stupid wizard can't wait until after dinner to freaking do the.
Oh, so is the trouble?
As she gives a kind of soft sigh. You better hope the other dish turned out. As Shin just kind of goes, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. The wizard just kind of waves a hand, going, yeah, I pay enough, whatever. As she then, very motherly, stands in the doorway going, don't you, whatever me, mister. As he just kind of rolls his eyes, like, you should be glad that your cheese dishes save your job. As you hear just out from one of the rooms, Fox chuckle. Jeez.
Yeah, keep it.
And then you hear, well, the wizard goes into the kitchen with the lady as you hear a slap of the hand as she goes, no, it's not ready yet.
I just kind of snicker hearing it.
Right, snicker.
Now go take your dirty ass hands and go wash them, mister. And make sure your guests wash their hands too, or at least cleanse them. And she goes, put that spoon down. Well, in the lull, she goes, put that spoon down, or I swear to the Lord's Almighty, I will boycott cheese in this house. As he goes, uh-oh. Whoops. As I'm knocking stuff over. Anyway. Oh. Shen goes, okay, I'll go wash my damn hands. Of course, he almost comes out of the kitchen like a, scolded puppy. His ears all down, going. Of course, it's more of a motherly son dynamic than, employer to employee.
Cool.
And be sure to clean up your damn mess. Ain't you, Mama? No, he just kind of laughs and says, yeah, she's dead. Well.
Oh, one quick question.
Yes.
So this is a fenced-in area, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm just gonna stick outside for a bit longer.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, I guess, make sure the unicorn gets into its spot where it needs to be well, and then just kind of whittle on the stuff I have.
Okay. And almost as if she like had a sixth sense as she goes, make sure you clean up your shavings. I hear that.
Hear what?
You're whittling. She hears
Oh,
the
I haven't
knife
started yet, but okay.
the knife against the wood.
It was not wood either, but you know.
Well, she hears it anyway. Because it makes a distinct scraping noise.
Yeah.
Oh, she just kind of, as she goes, hot, hot, hot. Whew, okay. Hopefully this new recipe will work out this time. As you could almost hear her poking at something. Cooked them too long. As you hear something wet lift and then go splat again. And now, to describe her, she's like a, let's say, portly woman. You couldn't tell if she was dwarf or halfling. She was fairly short, though, but enough to be useful. Well,
I'm gonna look at her and go, anything we could be doing to help?
she kind of without even looking up as she's stirring another pot, as she goes, go wash your hands.
Which direction?
As she just kind of points behind her, she goes, down that hall and to your right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow,
I'll
they
go
have
down the
another
hallway
number.
and to the right.
I'll follow.
Well, you see, when you enter the room, it's not a large bathroom, but it's well, to your standard, it'd be kind of old-fashioned.
Is there anything that looks like soap?
Simplification.
There is a hold on, trying to think of what it's called.
Bar that.
No,
It's technical.
it looks akin to a small keg, like an itty bitty keg, almost like a soda can that bulged out, but the top had been gone, and it looks like there's been, there's finger marks where someone has scooped out and, washed their hands and such.
I'm gonna smell of it.
It would smell of certain, it'll smell very herbal.
Earthy.
Yes, herbal, earthy, and
Maybe something like a flower or something like something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. And almost with an undertone of like lard.
So I would recognize it then.
Yes.
The
So
bar
I'll turn
fat
on the
in
water,
cube form.
scoop a little out, and scrub my hands clean. All the way up to my elbows, because I figure we're pretty dirty at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably have to remove any armor covering my hands and arms to wash my hands.
Yep.
And I'll point to the little thing and go, that's soap. To Zahina. So that way,
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I will remove any armor and, wash my hands.
Well, the gauntlets you put down on the sink with a heavy clunk as she goes, be careful of the marble.
Sorry!
You scratch it, you repair it.
I don't know how to repair that.
I sort of do. I've been down in a marble mine before.
I will carefully put the gauntlets, in my backpack. and then wash my hands.
After you get some, well, some nice home cooking, I'm sure y'all will take turns in the bathtub.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
I
Yeah.
need to get rid of the gook.
Of course, the bathtub is not in this room that you see. It's really just a toilet that's like an old porcelain toilet or marble to match the marble sink top.
That took some engineering to make one out of marble.
Yeah.
And well, the drain for the sink doesn't really have like a stopper or a plug. It's just like it looks like it's just a black hole going down. But it definitely sounds like modern plumbing.
Cool.
The sink, you really have to you turn the knobs, like an old fashioned, but you really don't see where the water is coming from. Oh, you hear the telltale signs of a fox shaking his head. Floppa, floppa, floppa. And like
That
almost like,
sounds about.
and almost the whoof of his fur. Your flur. I know, my mouth just went. Anyway. As she goes, cheese. He's still very amused that Quotey Fingers, the cheese man, is now a rat.
Hmm.
Of course, the cook just kind of goes, oh, oop, oop, oop. Almost burned it. Whew, whew. It's all right. It's all right. We're okay.
Mm.
And you hear, what is that? Monstrosity of whatever. She goes, I don't know what to call it. But it's, well, it's that. Something I tried. Of course, when you guys follow the voices into the dining room, it's looks almost like a picnic table. Well, what we would consider a picnic table. Long benches that went with the straight table with place settings around for everybody. On in front of where the cheese man, Woody Fingers, was bending over, looked to be what we would call lasagna. But who knows? As he just kind of looks and says, it's so many ingredients. As she kind of like whips him with a tea towel, as he goes, quit your whining and sit down.
It smells good.
Yeah.
Smells really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
No, she gives a little shrug before going, if not, we could have, a different meal.
I'm sure it'll be delicious.
She laughs and says, anything over travel rations, right?
Good point.
True.
Well, as she serves everyone the meal, as she just says, now I'll go get the rest. course, going into the kitchen and pulling out roasted vegetables. Well, you see the little nose of Fox just kind of peek over the table as he sniffs. Before, you just see one eyeball over the table. Now, he's on all fours where he's most comfortable with. He's not standing upright to fit in with society. So all you see is this like one eye. And she goes, "Ooh, what's that?"
Wait,
Oh.
did anybody call acid in for dinner?
As well. When you said that, he goes, "No." Stupid head! Now, he doesn't remember or doesn't care to remember anyone's name at this point. I mean, you really haven't reached that level with him,
Yeah.
So he's all gonna call you stupid head.
I'm just gonna not, since he doesn't really know anybody, I'm just gonna assume somebody did something stupid inside. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
I'll walk outside and tell Acidic that it's dinner time. And then point him to the bathroom and go, it's probably a good idea to wash your hands before we eat. Because otherwise you're probably going to get yelled at.
Y'all can eat. I'm alright for now.
As well, even before you cross the threshold, as you hear, "Wipe your boots!"
I wasn't coming in, but okay.
I would definitely be wiping my boots.
Of course, every now and again, anyone who would look at Cinderly would just see these eyes peek over her shoulder. Just like peek. Oh. And she just kind of, or not she, the cook goes, "Now, Master Shin, did you introduce yourself to the rest? I know you know Fox, but do you know the rest?" Shin just kind of goes, "No." As she just kind of goes, "Oh. You're fitting more and more into what you are now than what you've ever been.
What, a rat?
An animal." She's calling him an animal.
Oh.
As he just kind of goes, as he then just says, "Yes, my name is Shin. This is Fleur," kind of motioning to the cook. "She's my cook, keeper, whatever you want to call her."
Sounds like your mother, even though she's dead.
No, actually, Mother's upstairs. Quite a lovely decoration. Of course, he just kind of looks at you with that evilness.
Okay, that one got me. I'd give him a look of what? What the fuck?
You kept her as a decoration? Look of concern. Just looks concerned. Like,
Well, you hear the soft lop, lap, lum of a tongue trying to, like, lick one of the vegetables out of the trays. You hear it, "Yick!" As she goes, "No. Sit like you are." As he goes, "Oh." But cheese. Oh. She just kind of goes, no. Sit like a person or no food. And she goes, oh, well, fine. Of course, sitting at the table, but you could see that he looked very uncomfortable. That is until he put his feet on the seat and kind of crouched there. As she just kind of goes, oh, close enough. Baby steps. Baby steps.
I'm gonna snicker Gen X to a T. None of us can sit right in a chair.
A snicker thinking of L from Death Note.
Exactly
Yep.
like Death Note.
Yep. Yep.
Of course, he has a snoot and ears and a floofy tail, which you notice that he's basically uncovered now. He doesn't have his cloak on or what he would consider armor. Or his swords. As she just kind of goes. Then you hear the soft, no, silverware, mister. Of course, he grabs it like a toddler, full hand right on the handle. And he goes, fine. Of course, everyone else hears a rumble as he goes, stupid, uncomfortable piece of tools. Of course, Soul heard it. Of course, even before Soul could say anything, Fleur goes, don't talk back to me, mister. Of course, everyone else heard a rumble as she just kind of stared him down.
What the heck?
I'm going, wait, his grumbling's actually a language?
Some.
Huh?
I look at Sinley like, you don't hear what they're saying?
No!
They're actually saying something?
Yeah, they've been talking about how uncomfortable the silverware is.
Listen, sometimes I can barely English. And it's my only language.
Zahina just gets a pat on the head as she walks by. Enjoy now.
Mm. I just sit there just like kind of like scrunch my shoulders up like to really just get pat on the head.
By someone shorter than you. Because you're sitting.
Crumble.
Wow.
Eat up, dears.
Nom nom.
Yeah, guess I'll eat.
And
Still looking a little crispy about the head pat, like how dare. It's like
And whatever I take, I'll offer some of it to the spooter cat to see if it'll eat any of it too.
oh, it would try a little bit, but eventually eject
That is
it.
Yeah.
Like, no. Of course, the first little bit, it gave kind of a stank face, too. Like, what that? It smells funny.
I'll ask Fox for a couple of strips of the jerky later to feed it.
Well, you see Fox trying so hard to use the silverware. As Shin pulls out, actually, two very familiar tools.
Chopsticks!
Yep. And hands
Nice.
it to him. As he goes, oh, they're better. having an easier time not only eating with the chopsticks, but maneuvering the food into his mouth instead of getting it all over the plate. Because he was chasing this
Nice.
piece of pasta just all over the plate, and sometimes a little sauce spilled over. As he then goes, "Nom!" And almost like that motherly sixth sense, she goes, "Chew with your mouth closed." Right from the kitchen. Hmm.
What does
Do
it taste
you have a
like?
secret?
Oh,
What?
sorry. Go ahead.
Do you
Go ahead.
have a secret?
Oh. It would taste like not the best lasagna, but it's not the worst either. It's like mid,
Stofers.
kind of.
Not sponsored, not affiliated.
But if you're willing, hit me up. I'm just kidding. It was, you could taste that it was cooked over a fire than, an electric or gas oven. Yeah, I should say.
Actually, that would give it a smoky flavor. That would actually make it taste better.
Well, some of the herbs were off. Like she was experimenting with something.
Cool.
I'll eat. And it's, as she said, it's better than the rations.
Which have been just basically fire cooked meat and jerky.
Mm.
They haven't gotten into the travel bread yet. Of course, Fox is such excellent
Forager?
hunter. A hunter and forager. That if he doesn't like anything, he doesn't really have to eat it. Well, Shin just kind of goes, it does need a name, though. And the herbs could be better.
This is actually similar to something we eat back home called lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
I nod with my mouth full.
Lahagna? Lasagna. As he kind of tries to say it, but it you can see that it looks and feels funny in his mouth. As he then says, "Say it again."
Lasagna.
Of course, as soon as you said lasagna a little louder, you hear, bowl or dishes crash.
Everything okay?
What did you say?
Lasagna.
It's something we know from home.
Where are you from? She says, very slowly.
America?
It's gonna be kind of hard to explain because we kind of don't know where we are now, if that makes sense.
You hear double axes being pulled from her back. Shing. Say that again.
Oh boy.
I go, raise my hands in kind of a I'm not dangerous type.
No.
I go,
No.
we think we're from another plane of existence.
We're not dangerous. We're not trying to harm you. We're not doing anything. Here, look at my hands. There's nothing there. There's pasta all over it.
Yeah, we come in peace.
How do you know
where
of
we're
such...
from.
How do you know such things? Of course, the candle lights now flicker off the blades as Shin just goes, "Calm down, Fleur. I'm sure there's an explanation."
I don't know. Some girl gave us a newspaper and we read it, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up here. I'm starting to
It
get
was
panicked.
an email, wasn't it? Or a story. We got sent a story somehow, and we woke up here. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And then we've been traveling with Fox, and nobody looks like him from where we're from.
I like how
I
I can just
should
be
be
blissfully
dead.
ignorant to everything right now
Yeah.
because I'm outside.
We're all gonna be dead, and you're just like, I'm whittling.
Hum da dum dum dum. Shink. Shink dum da dum dum shink. Shink dum
It's like
da
where
da.
we're from is science, not magic. Magic is something we don't
When you
know.
when you say science, dunk. The
Thunk.
thunk. The axe just barely misses you.
Holy fuck! I would scream at the top of my lungs.
I'm gonna be too stunned to scream.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like frozen, like staring at, like.
of course, Spider Cat's now on top of your head going, all poofy. As she goes, "Say that again."
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't think
You know
we
what?
should.
This is a great meal, but I think it's time for us to leave. Oh, there's the bell.
It's time to go. Why don't you stay for a meal? We could have whatever's lying around. Anyway.
No.
I'm gonna point to the crochet hook behind my earring and I go, I don't dangerous, I crochet.
Of course,
I can't even hit an ant.
literally. Anyway. I'm sure by this time Acid should have heard something and came to investigate. Unless he's deaf.
No, I'm just gonna keep whittling.
Wow.
Oh my
Why
god.
would I care? It's nothing that sounds too like It's not like I have super hearing either.
True.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bro, listen here. We don't want to die.
As she then
And you
said,
probably definitely don't want me there. Because I'd say something smart ass.
"Oh yeah, well,
Yeah, you would.
a fox just goes, they come from big light in sky." Of course, that causes her to pause. The falling star.
Sure. I guess it was some sort of like Transformers thing where we came from outer space and then all of a sudden we landed here and
Of course, as you're talking mid-sentence, you feel a very cold, mind you, mage hand just goes shlook right against your mouth to shut you up.
oh shit.
You can't even say it, so it's like, "That's it." Of course, that was Shin, shutting you up before you dug yourself a deeper hole. As Fax goes, yeah, they come from big light in sky. They come crashing down, make big hole. But they have stuff all around them, and I pick it up, and I pick them up, and I burn some, and then some things now burn, and then I give it back to them, and course, Fleur just kind of just relaxes slightly. You could hear the axe be pulled right out of the wood.
I'm gonna cringe heavily when she does that. But my hands are still gonna be up next to my face and like, yeah, I'm not dangerous.
Yeah, right?
You still have a hand over your mouth, so shush.
I know, but I'm saying things like mentally, you know?
You okay there, Zahina?
I couldn't. Yeah, Discord decided to freak out on me, and I couldn't hear anybody.
Okay.
Like I saw you guys lighting up, but I couldn't hear you.
Discord does it occasionally. So, what did you hear? What was the last thing you heard?
No, the last thing was me saying, "Yeah, Fox found us after we fell out of the sky."
Okay. Well, Fox went on of the broken tirade as they fell from the sky, make big boom. They in the middle of it, and then I take their things and I burn it, and then I take them home and put them in clothes from here, and they smell funny, and of course when he says all that, she pulls the axe out of the wood next to Cindely. Stunk.
And I cringe. My hands are still up next to my head. I'm kind of trembling a little bit.
Of course, Solify is currently muted by a mage hand over her mouth because she kept running it, which really pissed her off. As she then says, "So, huh?
We don't know why we're here.
Well, she's like looking at Fox as Fox was looking at her. Of course, now they're um doing like uh nonverbal communication. Of course, she's scanning him for like any lies or telltales. Of course, he can't lie right now through a paper bag that you know of. As no, he then goes, yeah, and I think Pretty Lady might have something to do with it.
Mm.
But I don't know. Of course. She then says, "So you're not inheritors, huh?"
Don't even know
Shakes
what
head
that is.
frantically.
What? Just looks confused. What is that? What is?
I have lived many lives. First one was in a country called America, where we had odd things, different things, magic mirrors that could talk to one another, send silly pictures, almost instantaneous talking.
Computers?
Of course, when he says that, a fox just kind of goes, "Huh?" Both his ears falling to one side as he turns his head. And she goes, "Huh. Interesting." I need a moment before exiting. Of course, Shin just kind of goes, "Whew. That was close." You don't want to see a berserker, or the bad side of a berserker. I will tell you that now.
We don't even know what that is.
That's what she is. Of course,
That doesn't help.
a fox just kind of shrugs and says, cooking lady go angry, get very angry, and then no one live.
Um,
Didn't mean to make her mad.
Of
no.
course, out of character discussion, real quick. You didn't make her mad. She was just very protective because what you were saying is what she recognized. And she's like, it doesn't belong here.
We know we don't belong here.
Well, I
We don't want
know.
to be here. We want to go back home.
I know that. But she would have sent you home the other way.
Right.
Anyways. Well. You hear muffled yells. Of course, she was taking it out on a dummy in the training room down below. As Shin just kind of goes, wow. It must have really pushed her buttons. Whatever you said.
The fact that she knows where we're from, though. She's been the first one here that kind of understands.
You see, inheritors are rare.
What's an
Tweak
inheritor?
_McFly just
Yeah,
subscribed
what is
for
that?
18 months.
Thank you very much there, Tweak. Love you very much. An inheritor is a soul that never dies, essentially. It always remembers their past lives, despite which each new body it takes.
Okay, so we're definitely not that. Because I don't remember any past lives. We just got taken from where we were and brought here. And none of here makes any sense.
Didn't she say she's lived many lives?
So she must be an inheritor if she remembers her former life.
And as soon as
Maybe.
you said life, you hear the crunch of something.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna flinch again.
Oh. And Shin just kind of shook his head before, going. It's late, and I doubt she'll be back up here anytime soon. So, you all are welcome to bathe and rest here. The room, next to what you had washed up in, is yours to use. There should be enough beds. He stood up and walked out of the room. Uh-oh. That's all Fox said was uh-oh.
Fox, why do you keep bringing us to dangerous friends?
They not dangerous. He cheese man.
I point at the axe hole.
Oh, you better.
Said Axel, people, Axhole. Not the other thing.
and give him the stare of death, like,
Oh, okay, she fix it. She, a whole, like, concept of what you're trying to get through him just go whoosh over his head. And she goes, and you bathe. Though you know smell different, you stink.
well, thanks.
He was talking to all of you. Of course.
I responded on behalf of all of us.
Oh, and Fox then stood up, kind of peeking his head outside to look at Acid as he goes, Stupid! You eat?
No, I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay, stupid.
And I go, Fox, jerky? And point at the spooter cat that's probably still on top of my head looking panicked.
Oh, it's still floofed out. I wouldn't touch it right now. You'd get...
I'm not. I'm just pointing.
Okay. I'm just saying that, because it's kind of scared and agitated and poofed out, the hairs would, like, be almost like barbs.
Yeah.
Oh. He looks at you crazy as he goes, No.
No? It needs to eat too.
He then
It
goes,
didn't like...
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Of course, he's looking in pockets on him as he goes, Aha! Here. Just handing you a squirming bag. He eat that.
I'll take the squirming bag and put it in my pocket for when the spooter cat gets less panicked so I can feed it.
He eat that best. Yep.
Thank you. Now, where is Bath?
As he points, basically you go right down to the hall, and it's at the end. He goes, There. That door. Wash first, then soak. Of course, what he says will make sense when you get in there.
Okay, so I'll head down that way. I will stop by where the room is first and ask the spooter cat if it wants to wait in whichever bed that I'm going to take. Because I'm assuming it's not going to like the water.
It was almost reluctant, but it did slowly kind of get down. It's relaxing now, but its defenses are still up.
I'll pick up the baggie and ask it if it wants food before I go shower and show where I'm going to go bath.
He just kind of shook his head like, no,
Okay. I'll make sure it's cinched well and leave it on the bed with my stuff.
Well,
and I'll quickly go down and clean up so I can hurry back.
Well, when you enter the room, it was like 2 tiers, or like a 2-tiered pool. There were stations to wash on the lower tier, and then you would soak in the upper tier, if you wish to soak. So that when you're soaking, the water is not only fresh and warm, but it's not dirtied by, whatever you had on you, the soaps, the suds, whatever.
Yeah. So I probably won't soak, but I'll get clean. I'll wash my hair and all of that, and then head back to the room where the spooter cat is. Because I won't want to leave it alone too long with it panic to make sure. And when I get back, I'm going to ask it if it knows if it has a name.
Well, let's see. Does it have a name? You know what?
And if it does,
I will be right back.
all right.
Okay. Not gonna lie, I'm tempted. I want to go talk to Fleur so bad, but I'm phrasing something that might get me killed.
Right?
Like, I want to talk to her, but like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna end up murdered.
Evidently, I'm the bane of her existence, but
Solify is dying on us. How rude.
Oh no!
No!
Yeah, I had to throw a stuffy at her. So, I was like, yeah, give me like 15 more minutes. Give me the ball. Got it. Okay. Let's see what the magic 8 ball says. Instead of me going, I'll allow it. Well, it's the master 8 ball. It says nothing. I can't see it. Okay, for sure. It has a name.
Interesting. So I don't know how to get its name from him or her.
Well, it kind of looks around. Also kind of stumped. Before it just kind of looks at you and gives a shrug.
Well, if we can't figure out your name, can I give a few suggestions and see if one of them will fit until you can tell us?
No. It actually just kind of stands there and just kind of gives a little bit of a nod.
I go, okay, so some things I was thinking maybe spindle or season or loom
Well,
or
when you said
mystic.
when you said spindle, it just kind of looks at you like you lost your marbles.
I mean, you already knew I was nuts.
Before, well, it just listens to the others before kind of giving a nod when you said loom.
Cool. We will call you Loom until we get your name.
Well, when you finally name it, him, you can feel the bond snap into place. Almost like something that had been there, but wasn't there fully. Of course,
Oh, cool.
even though he's can he can't exactly talk, but he can give you impressions. Almost like
Cool.
giving you what's like nonverbal feelings almost.
Yeah.
Where did did I not pull out my pencil? Apparently I did not. And I think that's a good place to end it. Because Soul is once again snoring.
Mm. Poor soul.
Shit. Now, do I have something I can throw at her that won't hurt her?
No, don't throw the magic 8 ball.
It's too small.
No.
It'll just go boink.
Oh.
I got the world's smallest 8-ball.
Cute.
Adorable.
Go to bed. But yeah, with that, we're going to end it here. You all have a wonderful evening. Stay sweet, and we will see you in the next time. Bye-bye.